Hey everyone, Tom Cafarella here from Ocean City Development. Today we're going to be talking about how to use a website in your real estate investing business. And the first thing you need to be asking yourself is, do I even need a website? And the reality is that for a lot of people, getting a website on day one does not make sense. So I want to talk a little bit about what a website should be doing for you in your real estate investing business, and then we'll talk about whether or not you need it. So the only reason why we need a website in a real estate investing business is to generate leads. So when somebody goes to your URL, and you can check out my site at www.ocbuyshouses.com, the only thing we want people to do is to put in their phone number and put in their email. Everything else does not matter, right? So that's the first and foremost thing, is that websites are used exclusively to generate leads. And so putting up a website is costly, it takes some time, so you want to make sure that it makes sense to do before you take on any project or invest any money. So putting up a website just to let it sit there, just so that you can put a URL on your business card, does not make sense, and it's a total waste of your time and money. When you do need a website is when you actually drive traffic. You drive people to your website, right? And there's only a few ways that you're going to do that, okay? Number one, if you're running Facebook ads. Number two, if you're running Google or Bing ads. And number three, if you're sending out a mailer with a URL in the mailer. Now, you don't need to put a URL, you don't need to put a website in with the mailer, but I do highly recommend it, because there are a bunch of people who are not going to want to call the number on your mailer. They're going to want to do it the way of going to a website and putting in their phone number and putting in their email address. So if you're sending mailers, if you're running ads on Facebook, if you're running ads on Google, you are going to drive traffic, you're going to drive visitors to your website, and you definitely need a website. But if you're just putting up a website for no other reason, you're not driving visitors there, it's a waste of time and energy, okay? So just make sure that if you are spending the time and effort and money to build a website, that it does make sense to do and that you're driving traffic. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about what not to do. So I've built over 50 websites, either myself or I've managed somebody else doing the work. So these things that I would highly recommend not doing, I've learned from experience. And the first thing is, you never want to build a website yourself. So back 10 years ago, I can't even remember the programming language that I used to use to build websites, but I actually did this myself. Today you can use templates, but even when you use a template, you have to customize it a little bit. And the problem is, anytime that you customize and you get involved in developing a website yourself, you're going to screw up somehow. The pictures aren't going to fit right, or you're going to do something that is going to make that website look unprofessional. And the only thing worse than not having a website at all is having a website that does not look professional. So don't try to do it yourself. Definitely, for sure, you don't want to do that. The second thing you don't want to do is to hire a virtual assistant to do this, right? So don't go on eLinks, don't go to Upwork, don't go to any of those virtual assistant sites and try to build a website. I've done this, and the issue becomes, again, similar to you creating the website, it never looks right, and I don't know what it is. But for anyone who's ever had a virtual assistant build a website, they'll know what I'm talking about. Typically speaking, you'll give them all the specifications, what you want the website to look like, and then you'll get the website submitted to you as complete. And you'll take a look through it, and there'll be wording that doesn't make sense, there'll be stuff in other languages, there'll be pictures that are upside down, and it'll be a back and forth process for literally weeks. And by the end of it, you're going to get beaten down, right? So you're going to accept a product that doesn't actually look good because you're sick of managing this process, right? And so what started with you trying to save money ends up sucking up all your time, and then you get a bad product. So don't use a virtual assistant. Don't also be part of the design process yourself, because you're not going to know what converts. And again, going back to the initial discussion, the purpose of a website is not to look good. It's to convert. It's so that when somebody goes there, they give you their email address and they give you your phone number. So if you go to my URL at www.ocbuyshouses.com, you're going to see it doesn't look pretty. Guys, I used to have a really pretty website and it didn't convert, right? Because there was no good call to action. So if you check out my site now, the only thing that a visitor will be able to do, that it will direct them to do, is to fill out the form. And that's all that you want, okay? Another thing that you don't want to do when building a website is to copy someone else's verbatim. So I actually did this. Something, I'm not proud to admit, I literally copied someone else's site word for word, almost exactly, image-wise too. I hired a virtual assistant to do this because I saw a website that I loved and I said, make this as close to as possible. Now, 3 to 4 months later, I got an attorney letter in the mail saying that someone was suing me for copyright infringement. So don't do that either, okay? So those are the 4 things you don't want to do. What you do want to do, again, assuming that you should have a website, that you're driving traffic, because again, if you're not driving traffic to the website, don't even bother with this project. But if you do, what you want to do is you want to Google search Investor Carrot. So Investor Carrot is a specific company that builds websites for real estate investors that convert. And again, Investor Carrot has spent tons of money doing what we call split testing. So they'll split test different variations of a website, different color schemes, different where do you put the contact form, all that kind of stuff, to see what works the best, to get people to put in their email, to put in their phone number. And for $50 a month, you get one of these websites that you can use that looks exactly like mine, which again, won't be pretty, but will work. As soon as I started using an Investor Carrot website, the amount of leads that were coming in through my website quite literally doubled. So I lost a ton of money, a ton of time by trying to hire virtual assistants, by trying to do the website development myself. For $50 a month, it's the best money that you can spend, assuming that you're driving traffic. The other thing that Investor Carrot does, which is really cool, is they actually provide some really good training. So the owner of the company has done a bunch of training on how to help people generate leads to the website that you have. And that's all included in the package. That's free. So I'd highly recommend, if you're gonna build a website, just go to investorcarrot.com, sign up, and go from there. So all of the stuff that I'm talking about, all the mistakes I've made, spending money on websites, spending time on websites, is foolish. You should not have to do that, right? Trial and erroring everything like I did doesn't make sense. So if you want to kind of shortcut all of these processes, we talked about websites specifically today, but there are a lot of processes that you need to develop in your real estate investing business. If you want to shortcut that and work with me directly, we're actually looking for investors in other parts of the country to partner with. And this is a true partnership where we're going to help put our systems like the website into your market, help you generate motivated seller leads, and close deals to wholesale, buy and hold, and fix and flip. And in this partnership, we only make money when you make money. So if you're interested in using our systems in your market, go to www.realestateinvestingiseasy.com and put your email address in. Once you put your email address in, it'll take you to a video that will explain all the details about what working with me in your market looks like. And even if you're not interested in working with me in your particular market, by putting your email in, we're going to give you access to my private Facebook group called Questions for Tom. And so in my private Facebook group, you will be able to go in there and post a real estate investing question. And I personally review those questions and answer them within 24 hours. So if you have a question on websites or lead conversion, or what do I do when I get face-to-face with a seller, you type your question into the Facebook group and I will respond to it. By putting your email in at www.realestateinvestingiseasy.com, you will also get free access to my in-person training events that I hold every other month. Some of them are held at my office in Boston and some of them are held at remote locations. So again, put your email in and we will look forward to working with you. So thank you for watching the video.